Everyone, Chris here with more stories in cardboard. Today I'm going to get back to doing the 1956 Topps football set spotlight. Haven't done one of those in a while, and I kind of want to finish this up. I'm coming up, next week will be my 1 year anniversary being on YouTube, doing videos. I kind of want to finish this up, so I may be doing a couple of extra videos a week for the next, I don't know, month or so, maybe, potentially. We'll see how that kind of plays out, but I kind of want to finish that up. Today I'm showing 6 cards and an additional bonus card, and that bonus card is the 1956 Topps Football Checklist card. Now, when I first started this series, I was debating, do I show this at the beginning or do I show it at the end? And I ultimately decided I was going to show it at the end. But now I'm showing it now for a particular reason. I may end up selling this card. I had no idea. I knew it was kind of tough to get. And just to show you the back a little bit, this is the unchecked. It is unchecked as well. These are pretty difficult to get. I had no idea how expensive they had gotten. I've had this card for several years, and they sell for anywhere from $100 to $125 unchecked in this condition. And I have other projects that I'm working on, and I am not in love with this card. I got it years and years ago, probably in a lot when I bought some cards, and I don't know, I'm just not in love with it. It's not considered to be a part of the actual set. The only problem is I play that mental game of, I know if I sell this card, I'll never get it again. I'll never get it again. And I'm wondering if I sell it, if I'll have that regret. But again, there are other things like my early Bowman football sets that I really would like to finish. And this would help me out if I did sell it. So anyhow, tell me what you think. Would you sell it? Would you keep it? What are your thoughts on this card? They are kind of difficult to find, especially unchecked. So the next card I'm going to show, what number is this? This is card number 73 of Redskin Volny Peters. He was drafted by the Chicago Cardinals and played with them in 1952 and 1953. Then he played for the Redskins from 1954 through 1957. Then the Eagles in 1958, and he briefly retired after the 58 season. And then Sid Gilman, the head coach of the Chargers, convinced him to come out of retirement. So he played for the inaugural Chargers team in 1960 in the AFL, and was actually an AFL All-Star in 1960. And then he finished his career with the Raiders in 1961. I love this. Again, I'm a big fan of the green backgrounds on all cards, but especially this one with the Redskins uniform. You have the old Redskin logo up there, and just a neat looking card. Next card we have is card number 74. This is Leo Nomellini, nicknamed the Lion. He is a Pro Football Hall of Famer and was the first ever draft pick for the San Francisco 49ers. He was a two-way player, playing both offensive and defensive tackle back in the days when there were two-way players in the NFL. And he actually earned All-Pro honors at both offensive and defensive tackle. He was kind of known for having that both quickness and strength, and was just really just a great football player. Now, he never played high school football, and from what I read, it was because he had to help his family and work. And after high school, he enlisted in the Marines, and after the Marines, ended up playing college football. He was also a professional wrestler in the off season. This is a beautiful card. I love the blue background with that 49ers uniform, and then the yellow nameplate at the bottom. I really think makes this card really pop, and that old 49ers logo is one of my favorites. Next we have card number 75. This is Mathews of the Pittsburgh Steelers. If there's any card that says 1950s football, it's this card. That old style helmet, and just, I love this card. I love the light green background and that old rugged Steeler logo up in the top right corner there. Now, Mathews played when he was in college, playing college football. He played on 2 undefeated teams for Clemson. And he was drafted by the Steelers, where he was originally a running back, but then he switched to end, or what we now today would call a wide receiver. Because of his speed, he was switched to that. For his career, he had 34 receiving touchdowns and 5 rushing touchdowns. So he was a pretty good football player. Not Hall of Fame worthy or star worthy maybe, but a very, very solid football player. And he was picked by the Dallas Cowboys in the expansion draft in 1960. So he was a part of that first Dallas Cowboys football team and was actually named captain for their very first game in team history. He also played minor league baseball in the St. Louis Browns organization in the 1950s. Next we have card number 76. This is Dick Bielski of the Philadelphia Eagles. I love the green jersey against the yellow background here. Just a beautiful card with the green nameplate and the yellow font for his name. He was drafted and played for the Eagles from 1955 until 1959. He got his start as a running back, but then was switched to end, and was also the team's kicker. And it looked like, from what I saw, he was probably one of the better kickers in football during that time, and not a lot of people talk about that. He was also part of the expansion draft in 1960, where he went to the Dallas Cowboys, and he holds the record for the shortest touchdown pass in NFL history, where he caught a pass from Eddie LeBaron when the ball was spotted on the 2-inch line. And there was one other thing I wanted to show on one of these cards. Which one was it? Oh, I thought this was pretty interesting. On the back of this card, which modern team didn't score a touchdown via a pass all season? That was the Pittsburgh Steelers in 1945. Some of these backs are really interesting, have some great information on them. Next card is card number 77. This is Charley Conerly. He was nicknamed Chucking Charley. He played his entire career for the New York Giants and led them to play in 3 NFL championship games, winning one of those in 1956 against the Chicago Bears. He was the Rookie of the Year in 1948. He is in the Giants Ring of Honor and has his number 42 jersey retired by the Giants. He's also a 7-time finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame and has not been inducted. I believe he's a Hall of Famer. This is one of those times when I get frustrated with the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I believe he is definitely worthy of that honor. I wish they would get their act together and put some of these guys that are backlogged in. It's really unfortunate. Now, a certain generation may remember him as the Marlboro Man in magazine ads and for a while when they would do cigarette ads on TV. He was the Marlboro Man. Try saying that. Okay, the next card number 78. If you'll notice my little backdrop here, I have a picture of this card. I've talked about this card before. It's one of my all-time favorite cards, and it's because it's one of the first vintage cards I ever saw. I had gotten a classmate's father's football collection back when I was in the 6th grade, and one of the cards was Elroy Crazylegs Hirsch. And when I first saw this card, I was just enamored with it because of the pose and the red background and just everything about it. The yellow jersey, the helmet, the old Rams logo, the information on the back. it was just something I really fell in love with, and I've always loved this card. It's one of my all-time favorite cards, and definitely one of my favorite cards in this set. Now, Crazylegs he's a Pro Football Hall of Famer. He's a member of the 1950s All-Decade team as an offensive end, and he was nicknamed Crazylegs because of his running style. His legs would kind of kick up when he would run. Now, he originally played for the Chicago Rockets in the old AAFC, and later for the Cleveland Rams in the NFL before the Rams moved to Los Angeles. Now, during his playing days, he was head and shoulders above all other receivers in the game. Not only was he great at gaining yards after the catch, but he was also one of the best deep threats in football. Now, in the opening game of the 1951 season, Norm Van Brocklen threw for a record 554 yards, which is still amazingly a record today. It has not been broken, even though we are in a pass-happy era of pro football. Norm Van Brocklen still holds that record. Now, in that game, Crazylegs caught 4 touchdowns for 177 yards. During that magical 1951 season, he would go on to catch an amazing 17 touchdowns and have 1,495 receiving yards. Keep in mind, this was only a 12-game season as well. And on those 17 touchdown plays, he averaged an amazing 51.2 yards per touchdown catch. 51.2 yards. The Rams went on to beat the Cleveland Browns in the 1951 NFL Championship. And yeah, it's real popular today in the sports card hobby to talk about GOATs. And I'm not saying Elroy Hirsch is the greatest receiver of all time, but he was, without doubt, the greatest of his era. And it's amazing to me that people don't talk about him more than they do. If you want a great card of a great football player who is not going to break the bank, I suggest this guy. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, and we will talk to you later.